$230 million. That's the expected fine that British Airways might see for their breaking of the GDPR law, the European law on data privacy. And as it turns out, this new privacy laws, GDPR or the California Privacy Act, and the many iterations that we're going to see over the next few months and years might turn out to be a big deal. Let's dive into today's video where we talk a little about British Airways, what happened, and how this affects your company, and what you should be doing to deal with data privacy. Hi there, and welcome to Hidden Gems, where I help companies use data to make higher quality decisions. My name is Ruben, and today we're talking about British Airways. It turns out that a couple years ago, their website was hacked. Some users were redirected to a fraudulent website, and there's about 500,000 users who had their credit card information exposed. And under the GDPR law in Europe, they're being fined a couple $100 million. Now, this fine isn't final. It's probably going to go down, and there's going to be a lot of legal battle before money gets collected. But the intent is clear. Data privacy matters, and as a company, you have to protect it. You have to do your best, and if you're not, you're going to get fined, and you're going to have to get dragged through this legal process that will just waste resources. And it's not just British Airways. Marriott Hotels got hit with about 100 million, Google for about 50, and a couple other companies are also getting affected. This is, data privacy is hard, right? There's companies have been collecting data and using it in any kind of way for years. So now they have to completely change around how they process data, how they keep track of it, how they store it to avoid these fines. As a company, you have to do the same, right? It's privacy now, not later. A lot of my clients, as you can imagine, are worried about this, and they're thinking, okay, we don't have a lot of data right now, but how do we prepare ourselves? What's the security here? And I share something like this data privacy boxes, as I call them. And you can see a little chart here, and there's effectively 3 levels, right? And all your data has different levels of security associated with it. Level 1, the keys, this is sort of like a house analogy. This may be anonymous data, relatively data that's not really sensitive as much, but you still want to protect it, make it company only, certain, have limits in who can access in the company, but it's probably your most widely available data within the company. Companies want to democratize data, so a lot of it will fall under this bucket. Still, any average employee can go and look this up or figure that out. Then you have level 2, and these are like the special rooms in the house. Now you're getting deeper into user behavior, product behavior, anything kind of sensitive about your product, roadmaps, maybe secret sauce behind your product. And this is now under special rooms or special teams and groups of people. It's not just anyone, you have to be part of the right team to access. And lastly, we have level 3, or the safe inside the house. And inside the safe, we're gonna have everything sensitive, credit card data, demographic data, anything that could identify the user to who they are. Now, you figure out what are the levels of your data, which gives you a general sense on how you protect it. On an individual basis, you also have different levels of security. I think at the most basic level, all data, and I'm talking about reports, tools, anything like that, should be limited to your company email address. That's table stakes. And 2-factor authentication should be enabled for all these tools, table stakes. From the table stakes, we want to look at team specific. So what teams need certain data? Marketing teams will need certain cost data or certain user data, and product teams will need slightly different data. Then we have role specific. You may have certain people and certain teams who need access to specific sets of data. So now we have levels, right? We have our table stakes, we have team specific, and we have role specific. And lastly, we may have individual specific. So team, role, individual, we start to figure out who has access to what data should be where, and we're starting to filter out who can access this. Across all your data, you can also have alarms. just like in a house, that just notify you if anything weird happens, unauthorized access, maybe a large export, things like that. The complexity here takes time to build, but you can take it step by step. And like I mentioned, get your table stakes, company emails, two-factor, and then slowly add team-specific, role-specific, individual, you add alarms, and this is how you can start handling data privacy. And that's it for today. Data privacy is a big topic. I'm probably gonna keep talking about it, keep showing different ideas on how to handle it, how to evolve into it. It's just gonna get more important over time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. There's also a link somewhere in the description where you can subscribe to my weekly newsletter, The Growth Needle. Same ideas, but in a weekly email format. If you have any questions, post them in below. I'll do my best to answer them. Once again, I'm Ruben, and talk soon.